Welcome everyone to Epic Draft Battles, the show where four fans go head to head, drafting the greatest icons in pop culture, with the hopes of building an ultimate list, one pick at a time. Each episode, we take on a new topic, from superheroes to movies to video games to cartoons. The rules are simple: draft smart, argue hard, and claim bragging rights until the next battle. I'm your host, Steve. Some people call me Maester Chief, and I'm joined by three of my closest friends that just happen to be related to me. First, we have my brother, Adam. Adam, how we doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
All right, next I've got one of my cousins, Jimmy. James, what's going on?
I'm doing fine as well, and I'm happy to be here too.
Here we go, and Andy is rounding out our panel. Andy, how we doing?
Doing great, ready to crush this battle.
All right, let's get things started here. So, in this episode, we are drafting Star Wars movies. That means episodes 1 through 9, Solo, Rogue One, the Clone Wars movie, and any made-for-TV movie. We're talking like the Ewok Adventure or something along those lines. So, in a minute, we will determine the draft order. Once the draft order is set, each of us will get 3 rounds of picks to create a list of 3 Star Wars movies. The idea is that these 3 movies that you pick are the only Star Wars movies that you can watch for the rest of your life. It's as if all the other movies do not exist in your life. So, in this draft, we will be doing a snake draft, which means whoever has the last pick in the first round will get the first pick in the second round. Once a movie has been picked, it is off the board, and it cannot be picked by any other person. So, it's time to set the draft order. So let's get some of these things started. All right. We are going to our spinner, and I'm clicking the spinner right now to determine who gets the number 1 pick. And the number 1 pick goes to... Oh, you guys are going to hate me for this. I get the number 1 pick.
It's rigged.
Rigged.
I
Rigged.
knew this was going to happen, and everybody would say it was rigged. All right, so now we're down to the number 2 pick. And the number 2 pick, spinner is spinning. My name is off the list, and it goes to... Oh, it came down to almost Andy, but it is Jimmy gets the number 2 pick. So Jimmy gets number 2. All right, comes down to Adam and Andy for pick number 3, and then obviously who does not get chosen, whoever doesn't get chosen gets the very last pick. So here we go. And the last pick goes to, or the third pick, excuse me, goes to Andy. He gets the 3rd pick. And Adam,
My worst nightmare.
that is your worst nightmare.
Adam might not be able to pick. He might not be able to pick one of the movies he knows.
Exactly, because of just to give you guys that are watching this
Mercy.
a little bit of background, of all 4 of us, Adam is probably the one that knows the least amount about the Star Wars movies. But he has watched them all, and I'm sure that he will do just fine. All right, so that is going to be our order. So number 1 is myself, Steve, Maester Chief, myself. Number 2 is Jimmy. Number 3 is Andy. And then Adam, sorry, buddy, you got to bring up the rear for us.
Hey, at least you get to pick 2 in a row.
Exactly.
It's true.
Exactly. So 2 in a row. That may be the best situation. Honestly, I didn't want the first pick. I want it for the movie that I'm pretty sure I'm going to pick here. But if I'd have had the last pick, I think I'd have felt pretty good about things too. So, all right. Well, I got the first pick, and I'll explain just a little bit about why I'm making this pick. This movie is my favorite Star Wars movie. In my opinion, it is the perfect movie. It is everything about it is perfect. I love it. I watch it all the time. It's probably the movie that I've seen, the Star Wars movie that I have seen the most, and I am going to go with The Empire
Rise of
Strikes
Skywalker.
Back. Not The Rise of
Of course.
Skywalker, no.
I thought you were going with Ewok Caravan of Courage.
I'm gonna go with The Empire Strikes Back as my
Of
number
course,
one
yeah.
pick. I
Yeah.
just, I can't. It came down to two. I'm not gonna say what the other one is. Most people can probably figure it out, but for me, Empire
Probably the one
Strikes
I'm picking.
Back is my movie. All right, we got pick number 2. That goes to Jimmy. I'll give you a few seconds to think, since I probably took the one you wanted.
You did take the one that I wanted, but I'm going to go with the most obvious next choice, which is the one that started it all. I mean, it is it's not as perfect as The Empire Strikes Back, but it is almost there. It revolutionized movie making. Everybody copies it nowadays, and uh, the theatrical version is impossible to find anymore, but it's still out there. So my pick is A New Hope.
Star Wars: A New Hope. There we go. And
That is solid.
it's one of those things too, where it's like, do you call it A New Hope? Do you call it Episode 4, or just Star Wars?
Just Star
I
Wars.
would have
Yeah.
said Star Wars, but I went with the actual title. So
Yeah. All right, so it comes down to
Yeah.
Jimmy. Now, Adam, you think you know? Do you think you know what you're going to take when it eventually gets to you?
Unfortunately, no. I might
Well,
take
'cause
a
I-
second.
You're
Uh,
hoping,
you-
you're hoping that Andy takes one that you have no idea what's going on.
Totally. Like he could go two ways because if he doesn't take the one that I absolutely love, I'm taking the other one.
I got you. All right, Andy, you're up, buddy.
Well, and so I obviously Empire Strikes Back is the goat of the saga, but I will have to choose the one that I grew up loving the most, and that would be Return of the Jedi. It's the one that I just grew up loving. The epic battle at the end is just perfect with Vader and then the Emperor. The sail barge fight is iconic. So if I can't pick The Empire Strikes Back, I actually wasn't going to pick A New Hope. So it's fine that Jimmy picked that one because I was going to go with Return of the Jedi anyways. So that is my pick. Return of the Jedi.
All right, Return of the Jedi. Adam, I saw your reaction. Were you going to take Return of the Jedi?
Absolutely. That's the goat in my opinion.
So what
It's
is
just
it about Return of the Jedi that you like the most? Why was that going to be your pick?
right. The reason why I like Return of the Jedi is all of the puppeteering and all the work that went into all the different like Jabba the Hutt scenes. And I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, there's a couple people, maybe even 3 or 4 people involved in Jabba the Hutt and
Mm-hmm.
operating him and his movements and his tail and eye movement. It's just there's so much work into keeping. Plus the puppets are real. That's one thing that blows my mind. Is no matter how good CGI can get to realism, you just can't beat puppets because even though they look real, they are real and they're right in front of you. So I
Yeah.
just think that movie was done so well, and like Andy said, that the battle between Luke and Vader and the Emperor at the end was just breathtaking. So
Yeah.
Mm.
Plus, you
Are you done stalling?
that's probably the one that you guys. That's probably the one that you guys. I'm the oldest of the group, so that's probably the one that you guys remember the most, like growing up with and
Mhm.
everything too. So, yeah. All right, Adam. Now that you've talked about Return of the Jedi, a movie that you're not allowed to watch ever again for the rest of your life,
Dang.
yeah,
what movie you think you're going to go with, or what are you going to go with your first pick? Now, remember, you get back to back, so just give us one,
right.
talk about it, then you can give us the next one.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Rogue One. I think I feel like Rogue One was. I almost had a vibe. It was like the first movie. I feel like they didn't try to, and you may disagree. I feel like they didn't try to make it um, as like it wasn't filmed like a Star Wars movie. To me, it felt more like a military war battle with Star Wars added to it. I feel like it was done well. The acting was amazing. Um, I was a little, I don't know, skeptical about some of the stuff they had in the movie, but for the most part, um, I feel like this was the first movie where they took it to the next level, and took a chance at ramming ships into each other and not just blowing things up with lasers and bombs and stuff. And they just took it to another level. The storyline was amazing. It filled in that gap that we didn't know before.
I was hoping Rogue One
Solid.
would get to me. I knew that it wasn't going to get to me, but I was hoping Rogue One would get back to me because I love Rogue One. Jimmy, Andy, would you guys have taken Rogue One? Would it have even gotten back to me?
It probably would have. I wouldn't have taken it that early, but it is a very solid movie. So I mean, it is a very good pick. But I have other movies in mind, so we'll see what happens when they get back to me.
Cool. Jimmy, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that too. Rogue One is about as close to the original trilogy as you can get, and so it's not surprising that Adam picked that because that's kind of like the fourth original trilogy movie, and I was really kind of curious to see what happened when all the original trilogy movies were gone, how he would justify his answers.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, Adam, you're back up again. You get a second pick. You get the first pick in the second round. Rogue One is gone. Original trilogy is gone. What are you going to go with?
Okay. I shouldn't do this, but I'm caught between two movies. One is a stretch, but I'm like, that's some things I love about it. But I'm going to go with another one because I think that one's going to fall. I'm going to go with Phantom Menace. The reason why I like Phantom Menace is Darth Maul. I'll be honest. And the score with the battle between the Jedi's and the Sith with Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon Jinn, and Darth Maul was so epic. It was amazing. Just everything about it. I don't know if it's choreography or not, but just learning how they were going to, battle two Jedi with Darth Maul and all his double lightsaber was just amazing. I wish he wouldn't have died a little too easy, but I'm sure there's backstory to that I may not know about. And I know that he eventually comes back with steel legs or something, which I think is a little weird, but
Spider Maul, and then
yeah. So, and he pops up in a few other movies that I think
he's in
that might be on
Solo.
this list.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he pops up here and there, but Darth Maul was just absolutely amazing. Like he, in my opinion, is probably the next Sith that was just on the list that was amazing. So that's what I'm taking.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid.
Good.
Pretty solid.
It is solid. Good explanation.
All right, Andy.
Yeah.
Back to you. Second pick in
All
the second
right.
round. What are you thinking?
I'm gonna wreck this draft for everybody else because I am gonna pick what everybody else was probably thinking for their next pick, and that is the cap of the prequel trilogy, Revenge of the Sith, Episode 3, because there are, it's funny after having the 30th anniversary of it come out and seeing it again in the theater, I'm like, wow, this really
30th.
doesn't hold up. What? Not 30th. What is it? The 20th?
20th. That's okay.
20th. Yeah. Whatever. Wherever we're at, I'm just jumping ahead to the 10 years. But I see it again in the theater. I don't feel like it holds up as much as it did when I saw it originally. But that being said, it does have one of the best conclusions to any movie with the battle of Obi-Wan and Anakin, and then just the rise of Vader at the end. It's just, I don't know. It's just this very solid movie in a lot of ways. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm with you on
Episode 3.
that. When it came back out, and I'm sitting in the theater, and Star Wars pops up, and John Williams music coming on and everything, I'm just like, this is so awesome, and I can't wait for another good, solid Star Wars movie to come out. But that was.
Well, fun fact as well, that was the only Star Wars movie I had never seen in the theater until it was re-released 20 years later, because I was off fighting foreign wars in 2005 when it came out, so I missed it in its original run, and that was the only time I was able to see it.
That's
So
crazy. I
yeah,
Andy,
didn't
the
that was
know.
true
fun.
hero.
That is true. I That was my first time ever seeing the movie in the theater. The first time I ever saw the movie was when I was in Iraq, but it was a bootleg of the movie with the tracking numbers at the bottom of the movie. So the quality was horrible, but that was the only way I was able to see it
Do you still
original.
have that?
I have no idea. It might be somewhere, but I have no idea where it is.
Well, that was the way that we watched it when he came home because we didn't have the home release yet.
That's
So
right. Yeah.
he brought it home and
Yeah.
we're like, oh, good, now we can watch it.
Well,
That's
it's
awesome.
so what? One last little tidbit. The first scene I saw of the movie, because I saw it because they were screening it in one of the rooms or whatever. The very first scene I saw of the movie was Obi-Wan handing Luke off to the Larses.
So you
So I
saw
saw
the
the
end of
end
the
of the
movie.
movie, yeah, as the first scene of the movie. Yeah,
Oh, that's crazy. I
yeah.
remember. I remember when episode 2 came out. Um, I saw it in the theaters, and one of my students, for those that don't know, I'm a teacher. One of my students said, "My brother's got a bootleg copy of that," and I said, "What? Bring it in." And they brought it in, and I popped it in the computer, and it was on the old CD, like burned DVD or whatnot. And we popped it in, and I started
Hmm.
watching it in the middle of class, and that probably wasn't my greatest day as a teacher, but I was like, "Oh, episode 2, yeah." I think I fast forwarded to the Yoda fight at the end. So, all
Hmm.
right, we better get back to it. Jimmy, you've got A New Hope. All right, what is pick number 2 for you?
Well, there's two of them that I'm looking at, and I'm going to go with one of the picks. And I'm a big nostalgia guy. Like a lot of the Star Wars movies that have a lot of nostalgia for me. So that's the original trilogy has a lot of nostalgia. Brings me back to my childhood. Phantom Menace has a lot of nostalgia. It's the first Star Wars movie, brand new Star Wars movie that I saw in the theater. And then this next film is one that has a lot of nostalgia because it's the first one that I got to experience with my kids,
Hmm,
and that is The Force Awakens. So I'll
nice.
watch that the rest of my life.
I think that's a good pick. That's a solid pick right there. I'm debating on mine, and that kind of solidifies kind of where I'm probably going to go next. But yeah, The Force Awakens, when it came back out, that was awesome. That like the excitement behind it, and I think that there were so many like good like memorable moments in The Force Awakens for me, and I'm with Andy. I definitely would have taken episode 3, and I would have taken episode 1 over The Force Awakens, but keeping in mind I never get to see any of these other movies again, I'd have taken that one at that spot too. Any reaction
Hmm.
to that one, Adam or Andy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
One thing that I kind of giggled about was, you know, you had the first, the episode 4, 5, and 6. They have lightsabers, and then the prequels came out, and you had the dual-sided lightsabers, and they're like, I think like Disney was thinking, what kind of lightsaber can we come out with next? So they come out with one that has two little itty bitty. But how did that make us super excited? I don't know. Lightsaber with a light little itty bitty
Well, he
lightsaber
does use
hilts.
that part in the movie.
He
Does
does.
he
Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
when
Oh,
he's locked in with Finn, he uses it to get his shoulder.
He like slices into his
ah.
It
shoulder.
does
Oh,
have
that's right.
it
Yeah.
does have an
So anyhow,
effect.
that's all good.
The itty bitty bing. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh
The
man.
visual picture. Hopefully everybody got it.
All right. My second pick. Well, I narrowed it down to 3, but I get 2 picks in a row right here. So this is big for me.
Hmm.
Oh man. It's down to like I've narrowed this first one down to 2. And you would think we'll just take both of them because if you narrowed it down to 2, you got 2 picks and your list is done. But
Mhm.
there's one movie that I want to take that's going to be a surprise. So I'm going to go. Oh man, Well, I'll just tell you the first one that I'm thinking about. I've narrowed it down to Attack of the Clones or Solo, and I'm gonna go Solo. I really like that movie. I think it's a lot of fun. I know it had its issues, but
Jimmy knows that was my third pick.
was it? I got Empire. I'll take Solo. There were some parts of it that I really really liked, and I'll go with Solo. Now the only reason I didn't take Episode 2, Attack of the Clones in this particular spot is like it has the Yoda fight, but there's just too many.
That's my stand.
There's too many cheesy things in it that I'm just like, I'd probably fast forward through a half hour of it. So that's probably why I would do that. So, any reaction to Solo? Anyone?
No, Jimmy knows I have a special place for that movie in my heart. I absolutely love the score for that movie. Jimmy hates it. And that's
I don't
fine.
hate it. It's just it's okay.
It just feels like Indiana Jones to me. The score does, and like the movie, the feel of the movie just feels like an adventure. I think it's one of the most underrated Star Wars films out of all of them. And I think at different times it probably would have done better, but yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there was something about that movie that I liked. If you want to call it an Easter egg, I would call it an Easter egg. And I'm not good with Easter eggs. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I want to say the gal at the very end of the battle, I think she saves Solo from getting killed.
Yeah,
is she the same girl that is in the Star Wars fighting game that was on PlayStation 1?
No. The
It's
fighting
not the same
style.
one?
So the fighting style she uses.
Metal arms or legs. Who was that gal, by the way? Do we know?
Ooh.
Is that something we can look up real quick?
I think it's just
on
made
here?
up. I think it's just made up. That game came out for so long ago. Because I'm pretty sure that horror is not a real character.
You don't know.
Horror, by the way, is a
Gormian guard.
No, I thought that was the Sand.
No. He was the Tusken Raider. Yeah, he was the Tusken Raider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Horror versus whatever that metal woman is.
Yeah.
Oh my.
No, Adam, what you're thinking of is she talks about in the movie how she uses the Terras Kasi fighting style, and it's originated from that game because that's the name of the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll after I make this next pick, I'll look up that character that you're talking about. Oh, I think it might be Arden Lin. I think that's who you're thinking of. But yeah, that fighting style is the same. So I'm proud of Adam for making that connection right there.
I gotta say too, yeah.
That's a pretty deep.
That's a deep cut that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
All
right.
Thank you.
So wherever you guys think I'm going with this next one, you may be surprised with what I'm about to do.
I might be.
But here's what I'm going to go with. If of the movies that are left, if I can only watch this movie, let's put it this way, if I couldn't watch this for the rest of my life, I would be disappointed. That's what I'm going with. And I'm going to go with the Star Wars Holiday Special Riff Tracks version, though. I'm stipulating for if you are watching this video and you do not know what Riff Tracks is, you are missing out. And you are really missing out if you are a Star Wars fan and you've never seen Star Wars Holiday Special with the Riff Tracks guys doing their commentary. I watch that probably a dozen times a year, just putting it on in the background and different things like that. Again, I will say there are other movies that are a lot better than that one in the Star Wars universe, but if I couldn't see that for the rest of my life, I would be disappointed, and that's why I have to make that my third and final pick. So, there we go.
Yep,
That's the only way I've
yeah.
ever seen it. Can you see it the other way?
Yeah, you can
If you were
see it.
born
There's
in that
different
era.
ways. It used to be on YouTube.
If you're born
The Riff Tracks version used to be on YouTube. The regular version used to be on YouTube, but I think they've taken it down now. I think you kind of have to have your own copy of it in some way, and I think I downloaded it somewhere. We won't say where because I have no idea where where I downloaded it from, but I gotta see that one. So, all right, Jimmy, you're up with your last pick. What are you gonna go with?
Well, I'm so thankful that you went with the Star Wars Holiday Special to knock that off my list.
I had
Um,
to have Lumpy, and what
Mm,
life without Lumpy is just like, come on. Anyways, go ahead.
that would be tough.
now that you're talking about it, like I'm missing it already, and so
So for my final pick, I can't believe that I'm not picking any of the prequel movies. So the prequel movies are completely out of my life. I'm going with a pick that is so far. I mean, this movie has been hated by just about. I mean, it's more hated than it is praised, but I'm on the praise side. I've defended it for years. Um, I actually think it's the best of the sequels, even over the one that I picked before. But the nostalgia factor isn't there, so that's why I didn't pick it before. But since it's still here on the list, I'm picking the Last Jedi.
Ooh,
that's not fair. Because I think you and I are the only two people in this family that defends that movie. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of stuck with.
I'm actually happy with my list. I have good movies to watch.
I you guys know
I
that
can't get
don't.
past blue milk nipple sucking. It's
Yeah,
bad.
well, I mean,
I'm
it's not all good. But
I,
not safe for work on this one.
the
Uh,
the Last Jedi, in my opinion, you guys know I'm not a fan of it. It's a beautiful movie. I mean, wonderfully shot. Some of the scenes are really, really, really good, but the story itself, I just can't get past it. The Last Jedi has been talked about a million times. You said it right, Jimmy. You either love it or you hate it. It's one of those. You either love it or you hate it. I'm glad that you got that on your list. I'm glad that I have the Star Wars Holiday Special on mine. All right, Andy. You're up with pick number 3, your last one.
yeah, I'm at a rock and a hard place. Can I call an audible
Okay.
and go with the future Mandalorian Grogu movie? Because I'm sure it's going to
Oh,
be solid.
you know what? I'm going to allow it. I'm going to allow
Wow.
it.
You know what? Because I honestly, with my heart of hearts, cannot watch Rise of Skywalker again. And the other movies from the 80s, or yeah, with the Ewoks and whatever's going on. I've actually never seen those, to be honest. I've tried to watch them, I can't get through them. So if you are going to allow it, I am going to go with the up and coming Mandalorian Grogu movie because I mean it's got to be good. I mean, come on, how could it
Yeah.
not?
Oh. Now my whole thing. Those people that are watching the video right now are going, "This guy doesn't know what he's doing with this video." There we go. All right, here we go. We're good now. Somebody will watch it and correct me. All right, I'm going to allow it. Any comments
All
on
right.
that?
I didn't know there was a movie
No,
coming out.
There's no surprise
Yeah,
there.
let's see it.
There is no surprise there.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, I'm wearing the shirt and everything. I mean,
So when is that movie coming out? That's coming out in summer
I'm pretty
of.
sure
Isn't it next year?
it
Yeah,
should
it's
be next
They're
year.
filming it now.
Yeah, so again, if you're watching this video after the movie has come out, obviously we're recording this in August of 2025. So, who knows if anybody will actually watch this video, beyond. But anyways, yeah, and hey, I'm with you. Mandalorian season 1 and season 2. I even liked Mando season 3. I didn't like it as much as the first 2, but those 2 seasons
Yeah.
were awesome, and I can't imagine that movie will not be better than the Caravan of Courage. The Ewok adventure. So, all right.
Sorry, Adam.
All right.
If it was
That's
allowed, I
all
was going to
right.
take it,
It's all right. I know what
which
I'm
is
going
why I
with.
didn't
I'm
mention it
surprised it's
until
split
now.
this far.
All
It's
right.
it's or
What are you
not
going
split, but
with,
it's gone
Adam?
this far. So I'm actually I cannot stand um any of the post movies, whatever that you
The
call that.
sequels. The
The
sequels.
sequels. Sorry. Yeah, I disliked the only one I actually could actually watch and deal with was The Force Awakens. I actually liked that movie. But the other two were awful. But the one I'm about to pick, you'll probably think is awful too. But there's a reason why I'm picking it. So with my final pick, I am going to pick the Ewok Adventure movie.
The
Um,
Ewok adventure
um,
movie.
Attack
yes,
of the Clones. There is a saga
Attack of the
movie still on the
Clones,
table.
Brandon on the list.
Over Attack of the
I
Clones. All right. Give us.
did not like that one.
I
Yeah.
am shocked. But go ahead.
Yes.
Give me a reason.
So not that the movie was that great. That obviously the acting was horrible. Ewoks don't speak English. It's it's they should have at least left, the crazy woo-chas and stuff like that. I'm sure, yeah, and they have that in there. But the thing that I reason why I picked that is because, and I'm assuming these three movies are the only ones I'm allowed to watch, and I can't watch any other movies or any other Star
Those are
Wars
the
movies.
rules. Any other Star
Any
Wars
other Star
Oh,
Wars
movies. Any
movies?
other Star Wars
okay, there you
movies.
Yes.
go. And the reason why I would pick this though is because it kind of brings back nostalgia of some other movies back in the day. Now, some of these might be a little older than that, but I'm pretty sure most of these are around that era. They remind me of movies like Dark Crystal
Mm.
or The Labyrinth or Crawl, and Willow. The I don't know. There's just a lot of there is animatronics in it, I guess, or puppets or whatever you want to call it. But there's just it's like really fake looking, but it still kind of grabs your attention, and it just reminds me of some of those older movies that I mentioned that are classic horrible movies, but they still entertain me. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, the Ewoks and I'll be honest, the little kids and stuff like that planning, fighting this big monster. What was his name? Dork or Walk or something. I forget his name.
It's been so long since I've
Walk
seen it. I don't remember.
and how he dies or whatever. It's awful. But anyhow, it just brings back nostalgia feelings of older movies. And maybe, that's what I'm jumping with. The other
All
ones are just
right.
too awful.
That is wild, but that's a good reason. I get that. So the movies that we left off the list that were kind of like obvious movies that we could have chosen, we left off the Clone Wars movie. We left off Rise of Skywalker, and we left off Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. All three of those movies have like there's some good things about them. Let's do this real quick before we kind of wrap things up. Of those three movies that are left, which one of those would you like? If I said you get one more pick, which one would you not pick? Which one would you not put on your list if you were able to pick one of those other three movies?
I mean, for me, it would be Rise of Skywalker. They're just, I mean, simply for the fact that, like Jimmy said, I am a Last Jedi apologist, and I truly believe that if the third movie was given the treatment it was supposed to and should have gotten, I think the appreciation for Last Jedi would have been bigger or at least understood. And so I just think they fumbled so much with the Rise of Skywalker. It was just a mess from start to finish. The pacing is just so bad. I just can't get behind it.
I can appreciate that. You know what? I went back about a year or so ago and I watched all the Star Wars movies in a full weekend. And when I watched The Last Jedi and then The Rise of Skywalker, I actually think that I appreciated The Last Jedi more after when I was watching them back to back. So I can understand that about Rise of Skywalker. Now, when I saw Rise of Skywalker in the theater, when it was over, I was like, that was great. But for me, it doesn't live up to that moment. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's exactly how I feel. I mean, whenever one of the Star Wars movies was over, I'd be like, "Oh, that was one of the best ones," and then like it sets in, and it's obviously not one of the best ones. And like I agree. To me, Rise of Skywalker is the worst Star Wars movie. It's got a few good things in it, like I think the battles are okay, but like I think I was talking to Andy one time, and he was mentioning that the dagger and like how coincidental the dagger like points right at where the Emperor's Tower is, and it's like how would that have happened?
This
yeah,
ancient
They
dagger.
could have made that
yes,
some ancient dagger.
yeah.
Yeah,
The Force. The Force is what
Yeah.
makes it work.
right.
That's
Hmm.
not
Yeah.
how the
Well,
Force works. Adam,
Yeah.
would you leave
Yeah, I can't.
one of those off the list?
Oh, totally that one. I just can't get. It ruins that the Emperor was a clone. Is that what it is?
More or
Or
less.
he's like,
Essentially.
yeah.
that's awful. That's downright awful. I'll end it there.
Yeah, yeah.
See,
It,
I
Plain and simple.
actually that is the one thing about the movie that I did agree with. I liked them bringing Palpatine back because it wraps up the whole saga. Because Palpatine was the bad guy from the beginning, and he was the bad guy in the end. So
there was
I was
some
okay with
merit
that
to it.
decision.
Yeah, yeah. I don't like the line somehow Palpatine return.
But,
That's used as a meme everywhere now.
mm,
But yeah,
Well,
there was
yeah,
a little bit of merit to it.
yeah. The movie just seems like it's just plain damage control from the reaction for the Last Jedi. It's like we have to do whatever we can to make this not like that movie, and they did exactly that.
Yeah,
Like there's, I mean, even to the fact where they brought back the helmet that he destroyed. It's like, come on. It's like
yeah,
I don't know. And it's like if you look up the treatment that the third movie was supposed to have, it's such a completely different movie,
yeah.
and it is kind of bizarre in its own way, but at the same time, it makes more sense.
If you had to pick one of these three as the best list, or one of the other three, you can't choose your own. Who would you pick as having the best list? Okay, does that make sense? So
mhm.
pick the best list that is not yours. So I have Empire Strikes Back, Star Wars Holiday Special Riff Tracks, and Solo. Jimmy has Star Wars, The Force Awakens, and The Last Jedi. Adam's got Rogue One, The Phantom Menace, and The Ewok Adventure. And Andy's got Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith, and Mando and Grogu, even though it hasn't come out yet. All right, Jimmy, I'm going to start with you. You can't pick your own. Which of those other three do you think has the best list?
This is really difficult because I would pick Andy's, but uh, he picked a movie that isn't out yet. So I mean, it could totally blow, and then I picked that list. Um, but at the same time, I can't subscribe to the Star Wars Holiday Special, and I can't go with Ewok. So all of your lists have two good movies, and then mine's the only one that doesn't have that. But that's
You can't pick your own, though. What are you going to
I
do?
can't pick my own. So I guess I'd have to take Andy's. I
Okay.
mean, I'll watch Return of the Jedi and Revenge of the Sith and just
And hope
see
that
what happens
Mando
with
is okay. Yeah.
it.
All right, Andy, we're going to you next. What do you think? Who you think?
It's I guess that there is something true about Ken, because I gotta go with my brothers as well, because he picked two of the movies that I would have picked, had he not picked them before. Steven, the only movie you picked, obviously, I mean, you picked Empire Strikes Back, but you had the first pick. The only movie you stole from me was Solo, and I probably would have picked that over Mandalorian Grogu, but only because you allowed it. So just to preference this, if that wasn't allowed, I would have taken Attack of the Clones.
Gotcha.
Um, but since it was, and I didn't, that's what I did. But with that being said, yeah, I got to go with my brother's list as well.
All right, Adam, what are you going with?
Unfortunately, I'm going to end up going with Andy because Return of the Jedi is the best movie ever made of the Star Wars movies, and I don't care about any of the other ones really. I just went into more of my metadata to cover the ones that I really don't care about, but make them still worth watching.
All right, for me, the only movie on Jimmy's list that I would have put on my list was obviously A New Hope, Star Wars. The only movie on Adam's list that I really would like to have on my list is Rogue One. In fact, Rogue One probably would have been number 3 for me. When I ranked these movies, I go Empire, Star Wars, and then Rogue One. Personally, I like Rogue One better than Return of the Jedi. It's close, but that's mine. But Andy's got 2 movies that I would put on my list if I could, if it went a different way. In fact, if I was in his spot, it probably would have been similar. Return of the Jedi and Revenge of the Sith. And so, Andy, you probably are the winner, at least amongst the 4 of us, even though I am going to love watching Lumpy and Itchy do their thing for the rest of my life. So
yeah, I mean, Luke with Mark Hamill with makeup is just it's classic.
and the eyelashes, yes. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I tell you what, we're going to wrap things up here. That was today's epic draft battle. You know, who came out on top? We would love for you guys that are watching this video to decide that for us. So drop a comment down below. Tell us who you think won this Star Wars movies draft. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear your arguments. We'd love to hear which movie you would have taken first if you'd have had the number 1 overall pick. If you like what you saw in this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe so you never miss any videos as they come out. We got plenty more battles coming your way. We got new topics. We got new arguments. And we got plenty more epic drafts, all decided 1 pick at a time. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time on Epic Draft Battle.